Welcome. This is the Drupal usability meeting for February 6th, 2026. I'm Benji Fisher, sharing my screen and moderating, and also present is Ralph Kohler. We hope some others will join us. Uh, it's a couple of minutes past the hour already. So we've had a request to review this issue. For the sake of the recording, it is 3564074. Review allowed tags in field help text and other contexts. Um, so let's see. I haven't looked at this before. Oh, let me share the URL of my test site. This is the 11.x branch, so beginning of what will be Drupal 11.4. Oh, and I see Gareth Alexander and Simo Helston just joined. Hi.
Right. Hello.
Right.
Um, so we were just looking at the issue that Simo suggested, and I'd like to figure out what the context is, and maybe you can help me do that a little more quickly.
Yeah. Okay. So first, uh, maybe just edit a content type
Structure, content types.
and
And,
add a field,
okay, so manage fields, say for basic page.
and then add a list, selection
Oh,
list,
whoops. Selection list. Okay.
and text
Say again.
um, of type text. So label can be, of
Type
course, anything.
text. Okay.
And here you have the allowed HTML tags in labels.
Okay.
And,
So what's more
and
familiar to me is text formats, which have been overhauled a lot in the last couple of years, where it is configurable. But this is for, uh, is this specifically for the list of text field?
no, and that's the problem. That's one of the biggest problems. This is not specifically for text. So there are. This is. I think this is a remnant from uh, days before. So
Yeah.
you can. So you can in the label, which is called here name, you can add uh, link, a link, a ref link. There's a dash instead of equals. So there's a slight typo.
Oops. Thank you. And we really ought to look for an issue on all the bugs on this page. I keep saying that. Let's just call that Drupal. I think. Shall I add another item?
Yeah.
Or, and what do you want me to put there?
Uh, Maybe anything.
Okay.
Just
Or,
just one note.
Before, yeah,
The
maybe I was going to
machine
say
name
same
has a
thing.
space.
Yeah, same issue.
how many times do I have to click the edit button to fix this?
Mm. Another bug,
Oh,
you can't click the edit button. There's two items.
this is worse than I thought. There we go.
Whoa.
Drupal.
That is heavily broken. I suppose it's easier to copy the link to the clipboard, remove.
No, I got it.
Okay, good.
So I was able to navigate there
Mhm.
through the keyboard, even though I couldn't do it by clicking.
And then maybe check, does this have
How
help text?
ironic.
This page doesn't have help text, or does it?
It just has the list of allowed HTML
Yeah,
tags.
yeah, for edit. Oh, there it is. The help text for the form. Description field for that when filling in the form. So scroll down.
Oh, here.
And here it's the same list of allowed HTML tags from the same function in core. So
Okay.
that's the same hard-coded list. So this one and the one for label. That's the same exact line of code hard-coded into core. So this is the kind of the problem that in help text links make sense, and maybe some of the others make sense, but it's the same list. So I think there we should separate the lists. So that's for one thing. So here maybe put something with a list, something with a link, just some help text.
I'll just take the same thing.
Yeah.
Uh, shall I save that and
Yeah. And then go to manage form display.
form display?
Yeah. So here you can choose for the new field. You can have select lists or the checkbox radio buttons. So choose the checkboxes radio buttons. Select
Okay.
lists is in a way easy that it strips all HTML from the selection. But then click save. And then you can go and edit or create a new or edit
Okay.
that type of content.
Just one thing. I haven't noticed this little thing here before, the asterisk with three dots underneath it. Is that new, or have I just missed it in the past? Do you see what I'm talking about?
Is that an indication for that it's changed?
Yeah. I think
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it
think
it
is.
so.
looks like that. So it's not only color anymore.
So that must. I hope it's a recent change. Otherwise, it just means that I've been blind. Um,
Yeah, I think if you move something else, you'll see the
Yeah.
thing appears again, but I think it may have changed. Yeah, you have unsaved changes.
yep.
I think the indication may have changed because I don't recognize it, but I know what it is, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Okay. So
That,
if both of us think it's new, then it must be new.
yeah,
Um,
and it's a good sign that if it's new, then we still recognize what it means.
yeah. So let's see. I'll add a page. List.
And then click on that link in the radio button.
Oh, click on the link.
Yeah.
Okay. I go to the new homepage of Drupal.org.
Okay, and then switch theme to Olivero.
I'm sorry. Switch the theme.
To Olivero.
Okay. So appearance. Oh, I'll keep opening new tabs. Installed themes, uninstalled themes. Olivero install and set as default. Error message. Don't worry about that. That's okay. The administration theme is still set to Claro. Blah blah blah.
Do
Non-admin.
you use admin theme for editing content?
So you don't need to change this or leave it?
Yeah, yeah, or
No,
just
the tick boxes. checked, so it's okay. Use the admin theme, yeah.
Yeah, but maybe not use that.
Okay, so undo that so that I'll see what happens in Olivero. Okay, and then reload this page, I assume.
Yeah.
All right, it does look like Olivero. And
Then the checkbox. How does it work now?
I'm sorry, what doesn't work?
Oh, it still does work like that.
Yeah, that again takes me to the new homepage of Drupal.org, just as
Okay.
it did before.
Okay. That didn't work for me the same way
Huh.
in my installation. What happens if you add also text and link? I'm not sure about that.
I'm sorry,
Or
add what?
maybe text and link, text to the link. But anyways, oh no, checkbox. Maybe make it uh, unlimited number. I think it was checkboxes. Edit
Um,
the
right, so where was I? I want the manage fields and make it unlimited.
yeah, or just multiple would be limited to two.
Making just more than one
Mm,
is also enough.
yeah,
And reload the page one more time, or not one more
yeah.
time.
And are you? Does it now appear as a link? It still
Yes.
does. Okay.
The one thing I consider odd is if you click basically the link or open it in a new tab, that you basically get Drupal.org and still have the navigation sidebar as well as the top bar. That I consider surprising, and I wouldn't have expected it. That way,
Yeah.
it's the impression that you're logged in into Drupal.org.
Mhm.
I,
And what
I'm
happens
so,
when you click on? Yeah.
I'm sorry. Where do you see the navigation and
If you
top bar?
click to Drupal, the Drupal link in here, and you open a new tab, as you can see, you have the sidebar and the top bar on Drupal.org.
That's because I'm logged into Drupal.org,
Ah,
Oh, that's
and
okay.
and I probably have more permissions on Drupal.org than you do.
okay.
Okay.
Uh, so how does
Okay.
it behave when you click on the text on anything?
That does, well, it gives me a pointer.
Yeah. So it check. So if you click on anything, it selects the checkbox. If you click on Drupal, it doesn't select the check. Okay.
Okay. That's a
Yeah.
problem. But
Yeah. And
I can
also,
click in the checkbox,
yeah.
but
And
not.
maybe try adding like unlinked word before Drupal and unlinked word after Drupal.
Okay, so edit this and plain text here, here, save settings, reload the page. Did I not save? I did save. Um, oh, that didn't work. And I can't even spell. I'm just a terrible typist. Is that yet another bug with this famous page? No, I guess it was probably my fault. I'm not quite sure what I did wrong. Okay, so now I can click. Whoa, that was a little unexpected that it scrolled to the top of the screen.
And does it still work as a link, middle one? Yes, it does.
Looks like it.
Yeah. Um, okay, so then in my test, I wasn't able to click on that, but maybe it was something else then. But it's also rather confusing.
Um, and I can't think offhand of any examples of why you would want links here, but it doesn't seem unreasonable. Um, so the usability issue is that if you just have a bare link, as I did before, and don't have anything before or after, then in order to select it, you either have to click in the checkbox, or you could do it by keyboard navigation.
Is a use case, I've seen a use case for text where for links similar to this, where there's a checkbox for in sometimes in the form you'll get at the end, you'll make sure that you have read our terms and conditions. Tick here to confirm. There's a tick box, and then there's a terms and conditions link in the label.
Okay.
I'm not sure if people would set it up as a, but
Mm.
yeah, it probably would be a checkbox.
And then there is one thing that there is a debate going on. So when should it be pointer and when it should not? So
So at the
I
moment
think,
it's a pointer, right?
yeah. And there is, I think, some recommendations say that it should be pointer for links, but not for buttons. And how does it say about checkboxes and radio buttons? So if the pointer does use the pointer doesn't change uh, between Drupal and Drupal here.
Right.
So if it did change, that would, for some users, give some indication.
Right. Um, so is this the main thing that I mean, do you also want to do a sort of full review of what tags should be allowed, or is this the
Yeah,
main usability issue for this issue?
yeah. So the thing, well, so here it was about, I think, demonstrating about how the same list applies to the help texts and to the labels. Then we should, I think, also look at which tags make sense. So first one is about policy. Do we want to allow non-HTML5? No, actually, the first thing is that should this be configurable and should this be different for different use cases? So between those help text and label. So I think that's one thing. And another thing after that is uh, do we want to have in core allow, do we want to at core level allow non-HTML5 tags when we have filters that can't be changed by the user?
So are some of these not valid HTML5?
Big is not.
Huh. Well, if big is not is small also not valid. HTML5.
Small is,
Oh, really? How inconsistent.
yeah. And then it would feel, oh, Rolf has a hand up.
Oh,
Uh,
thanks. Go ahead, Ralph.
Thank you. If you could take a look at the text formats page, because there you have also another list of allowed HTML tags, which differs. And I guess in a previous meeting, Simo has already mentioned it, for example, in the context of CK Editor 5, it also has a different set of tags allowed. And looking at the text format and that vertical tabs at the bottom of one, uh, I wonder about two things. First, about the question, should it be allowed to add basically non-HTML tags that could be realized via basically a checkbox on that text format? And second, maybe it could be possible, same as, for example, on text fields, to apply not the whole text format, but maybe that list from a text format on that selection list, just as an idea. So that you have basically one source of truth and not scattered across core, some hard-coded, some flexible ones, just as a thought. And if you scroll down further down, you have the filter settings with limit allowed HTML text. Further down and a bit more.
Oh,
There
this is
you
just
have
the
it.
order of the filters.
Yeah, no, but down in the filter settings that limit HTML tags, if you click that,
Okay.
then you have basically that kind of settings. And there I thought,
With CK Editor 5, this is a read-only field. So I'm typing a space, but nothing is happening. So I guess that's what it means by a read-only field.
oh,
I think that depends on the toolbar settings. So when you add or remove something from the toolbar, that gets updated.
ah,
Right. So I'm guessing that I can add something here, and that will update the list down here. Oh, that's funny. When I clicked down here, I got redirected up here. I don't know. Let's see what happens if I try to save that. So it's not a legitimate HTML5 tag, but I tried adding it to this checkbox. It's still there. Does it get added down here? No. Oh, yes, it did. So you can't directly change the list here, but you can add additional tags using this option. I guess I haven't followed that, but I guess it was initially when CK Editor 5 was introduced, you had no control over it. And I guess some people found that restriction too limiting. So this must have been added at some point. All right, we're almost halfway through the hour. Um, and so far, I see some sort of very technical questions about what tags should be allowed where, whether it should be configurable. Um, but so far, the only usability question I've seen is when we just have a link here, um, that you cannot select the item by clicking outside the checkbox. Are there any other usability issues that we should be thinking about?
Least
Well,
consistent.
mm, and also if you switch that to select, if you would have links linked to the terms or conditions. So if you switch that to select, then you won't have a link. So kind of then it would disappear. Mm,
Okay, so there's some inconsistency. So if I go back to the form display and change that back to the default select list, and I assume that's a limitation of select lists that they
yes.
Drupal, anything. Okay, so are we suggesting then that we don't allow anchor tags? We don't allow links in these allowed values. Is that what we're considering?
But
Uh,
link might have a certain value, to be honest, there. If you have, for example, a list of several options as checkboxes, and you have at the end of every option a link to a, for example, a about page about explaining the option, for example, as a workaround for not having, for example, a toggle button, something like that.
I'm cringing.
What's that?
I'm cringing. More information about what? Just make a select list with lots of more information.
Sorry about that. I didn't mean to trigger you. And go back to checkboxes or radio buttons. And again, I'm a terrible typist. I know how to spell information, and that's not it. Um,
So if you click on anything, does the checkbox tick? Yes, it does. interesting.
Interesting that the first time I click on that, it scrolled it to the top of the screen. But anyway, um, yeah, so I think there are valid use cases for including anchor links. We could say it's just up to the site builder not to do this because then the only place where you can click to select is in the checkbox itself.
But surely you would. Well, this is one of those well, moments. You would have. Please tick the box to accept our terms and conditions. I'd like to think they wouldn't just put terms and conditions with no indication of what the checkbox is for. But you're right, it is. I think it is on the site builders' shoulders to meet that requirement.
So this came up when I need to add. So I'm working on a project where I need to add allow more tags in the help text. So, for instance, I would like to have a description list in the help text, and that's not allowed. But then, then I started looking at this in more detail, so that I noticed that it's the same allowed tags function is in two places in this. So that's why I started looking at this. And also, I wanted to add a details element. But yes. And in my tests, I wasn't, in some setting, I wasn't able to select or open the link. So for me, maybe there was some wrapper or something like that. But for me, it might have been some different version of Drupal. When I clicked uh, on the link, it checks the box. So that might be something that has been changed in the themes.
Okay. So yeah, I can see wanting to add additional allowed tags here and definition list and details element certainly seem reasonable. I'm not sure that counts as usability issue.
Mm,
Um,
yeah, it would be usability feature if we could edit that. I think so. It would contribute to usability, but yeah, it's not an usability issue. But I was thinking about the link thing mostly.
I mean, keep in mind, anytime you add a configuration form, you're making the system as a whole less usable just because it's more confusing. Um, I can, yeah, a way to change that without introducing a new configuration form would just be to say, oh, let's have one set of tags for the help text, which includes details elements and definition lists, and separate that from the allowed tags in the name, which maybe we would want to keep the same. Maybe we would want to remove the one that's not valid HTML5. Um, but that would be a simpler change than introducing a new configuration form somewhere. So are we agreed that there are valid use cases for links here and we should not disallow the anchor tag? Get a thumbs up from Ralph.
I'll give a verbal thumbs up.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, at least we need to check that HTML standard. If that's, but yeah, if it's not, uh, if it's allowed, then sure.
Just one question.
Yeah.
Not necessarily a usability one, but that list of allowed tags, do you, Simo, or anyone else knows which of those are still valid HTML5?
I think all, but all except big.
Except big, okay.
Yeah, I think so.
And should that list be contextualized so that you have a certain set of tags for those values, a certain set of tags for the help text, a certain set of tags for CK editor 5, or should
Uh,
those consistified, sort of?
mhm. For CK editor for text input, I think it needs to be configurable because it's depending on user role and different content types have used different. So we shouldn't so uh, change that. But I think help text should have a different list from uh, the labels.
Mhm.
So
Right.
it would
So
make.
so so text formats have received a lot of attention with the introduction of CK Editor 5. So that's in the last 2 years, I guess. So that's all already separated. But as Asimo says, for now, this list and this list are the same, and they probably shouldn't be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and when I did a grep search for uh, core code, I didn't see other instances where they use that same function. So it's mostly these two. So there was one thing that I might have referenced this, but mostly it's just these two are using the same list, and not it's not used in other places. Based on what I did the quick search. But that's not a usability issue as such.
So what if we somehow changed it so that when you're here, it would not act as a link? No, that wouldn't make sense, would it? Never mind. Yeah, this is the place where you want it to act as a link, so it doesn't make sense to change it to act like plain text.
And I think that initially, in the version I was testing this on, I think that was one of the problems I had, that it acted the same, so it wasn't acting as a link.
Hmm. Let's see, let's go back and make it limited again so that we have radio buttons. What happens there? It still looks like a link. Yep.
Oh, hey, did it highlight that? It's very slight highlight, but when you hover on the link, does it? Yeah, it's very small contrast change, but you can see that radio button changes color.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
And that's misleading because if you do notice that color change, you might think, oh, good, now I can click here to select that radio button, but it doesn't work. Whereas if I click here, it does.
And it scrolled again.
yeah. It's also a bug. There should be no unexpected scrolling.
So is that a problem with, oops, is that a problem with Olivero or is that somewhere else? So let's go back to using the admin theme for editing pages.
Probably Olivero.
So if I click here, oh, okay, I'll scroll it to the bottom of the page so that there is room to scroll. Come on, there we go. Ah, I'll get finer control if I use the scroll bar. There we go. And now, oh, if I click there, all right, that's an Olivero effect. That's scrolling. All right. Anything more to say here? Any further questions on this
Uh,
issue?
did did you check the hovering on Laro?
I did not. That is clearer. And yeah,
Yeah.
even though this will be a link, I get the same color change there.
It's leading.
So I'll ask again. Any further questions?
Not
So
from
do
me.
so I guess for as far as the usability question is concerned, we do not want to remove the anchor tag. We do want to allow links in in here. Um, there are uh, various things. The site builder can include regular text along with the link, and then there's something more to click on. If they don't do that, you can still click on the radio button or checkbox itself. You can get there by keyboard navigation. So there are other options, and like many things, the site builder can carelessly create usability problems, but the site builder can also be more careful and avoid those usability problems. Um, there does seem to be a use case for having a different set of tags for the help text. Um, and I assume that the help text, well, maybe I shouldn't assume, maybe I should look. So let's take one of the other fields, the body field. Um, this looks like the same list. So it's not, so this list is not specific to list fields. This list is specific to help text for fields.
Yes.
Mhm.
And I'm not sure that counts as usability question, but it does make sense to make that list, to expand that list, allow some additional elements, which probably no one has looked at that in several years. So is that about it?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, I can leave a comment with those 2 points unless someone else is eager to do take that responsibility. We still have a little more than 10 minutes left. Any other things you'd like to bring up?
Not for me.
So
Me neither.
I guess let's just have a look at the list of issues tagged for usability review. Um, and yeah, there are things on this list that didn't used to be there. I know this one at the top of the list, the most recently updated one, is one we looked at a few years ago. Um, so maybe that's something we can look at next week. Deleting filter formats may result in data loss. That's something we looked at a few months ago. Um, and the Drupal root path we've also looked at fairly recently. Um, but I will try to find some time in the next week to look at those myself and see whether um, they need attention from the whole group or whether I can respond myself. Um, this one also looks familiar. I think we've looked at it fairly recently.
Yep. The only one, the real new is the on top. The others we all discussed before.
Okay.
And one thing I've also already mentioned a few weeks ago, it might be good to discuss basically some sort of, in air quotes, style guide for the rules we've applied to the add field microcopy so that contrib modules have a sort of guidelines to be in line with the rules we've applied there.
Right. So you've been suggesting that for a while now, just as I've been suggesting um, that we pay some attention to the various bugs
Yeah.
on this screen.
Yeah, and there's also the other still idling issue about, for example, if you add a media field or a email field that don't have a second step, as well as for those that have a second step that you basically add the name on top that you miss always. For example, if you go to formatted text, then you miss basically the label, or on the media file, that's just that label field. And there's an issue moving that label field to the field settings page. And that is also with no movement for months now.
Yeah, so we have an issue for that, right?
Yeah, but it's idling and nothing is happening,
Right.
unfortunately. I just wanted to raise that again because yeah, there are several issues in that whole flow that are still require work.
Yeah, a couple of years ago, there was a big burst of activity from some people funded by Acquia to look at this. And when they finished what they wanted to do, they sort of went on to other things. And now we're in the typical case of an open source project where we're trying to find a volunteer with the time to implement some of the suggested changes. So if I can find the time, I could take up one of those, but that's hard. All right. Unless someone else has something else to say, let's just end the meeting a few minutes early and we'll do it again next week.
Read.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you all for coming.
Have a nice weekend, everyone.
Yeah, have a nice weekend.
Thank you.
Bye.